Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cams rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to Hank's Think Tank. Guess what? It's Miller time. We got David Miller in here. He is running for EMCID, position number 5. His opponents are Crystal Moore and Paul Batchelder. And we're going to have a forum for the EMCID candidates on April the 19th. It's at the EMC Senior Center in Bull Salas Park, New Caney. We're going to pop open the doors at 6. We're going to party hard until 7. And then what we're going to do is we're going to poke and prod all these candidates and find out what they're made of. And
is there going to be snacks?
There's going to be snacks.
All right, I'll be there.
And there's going to be drinks, too. Water, tea, coffee, whatever you sneak in. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
And we look forward to getting all the voters there. We want to make this a good event. This has got to be a good thing for the community, a good thing for the candidates, a good thing for the East Montgomery County Improvement District. Mark Hogan's even going to show up that day.
Howdy, neighbors. I'll be there. You be there, too.
Getting him from Katy can often be just a trying effort, you know.
Well, it's at least an hour, that's for sure.
Yeah, at least. Unless you're speeding.
I'll get here in about 15 minutes. My new 2013 Dodge Challenger 5.7 Hemi.
We'll insert a picture of that over his shoulder one of these days. Welcome aboard, David Miller. Good to have you, man. I'm glad you decided to run again. And
yes, sir.
How are you?
Well, we're doing okay. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and here we are with Hank Think Tank. So where else would you be better being?
There you go. Yeah. It is a great day. So the first question I'm going to ask you right off the top, I mean, we're just going to dive right in. We're not going to hesitate. What made you decide to run again for EMCID?
I asked myself that. You got to sit there and wonder. There's a lot of need in the community. To be quite honest with you, I was requested by several people to do this. And during the last campaign, you know what we went through with the political strategies, Republican versus Democrat, different avenues there. And I kind of made a promise. That I would do it. And I felt like I probably needed to keep that promise. And, even at the end, I was doubting myself. And I said, I promised the people. And let's extend ourselves out there and let's see what we can do. Try to make that difference.
Well, there you go.
Well,
that's a good reason.
Cool. What uniquely qualifies David Miller for this position?
We know there's a lot of good people running for this. No doubt, Mr. Batchelder, great fella, great young fella, does a lot at the school. Miss Moore, she was the head of the East Montgomery County Republican Women. I'm sure she's got a great impact also. What I bring to the table is I've been working in law enforcement for the last 32 years. I'm extremely community-oriented. At the sheriff's office, I'll start off with we have a pact. I'll go with professional, accountability, compassionate, and trustworthy. I feel like I'm all of those. I can give the community those. I've added some extra things there. I'm very resilient. I'm very stubborn when it comes to what we believe in, and I'm steadfast in what the community's rights are. I'm strong for the taxpayer's dollar. I'm currently the president of the Porter Fire Department, and the last 7.5 years, we've had valiant strides. Not that they didn't do that before, but in the last 7.5 years, I can certainly give you some accomplishments that we've done there. I feel like I've got the integrity to do this. Once again, I'm very headstrong, and I'm extremely, extremely community-oriented. The sheriff has pushed that. He's allowed me to do that. I can do that in my everyday job, and I can certainly do that as an EMC director.
Okay. And you forgot to mention your work with Mission Northeast. Don't leave that out, man. That's too good.
Well, that's gonna come up in a little while. Community relations are extremely important, and once again, it goes to the sheriff's offices allowing me that access to do that. What made that so special is we had, I believe it was 12 different organizations that I was able to, with the team of my players, bring those folks together with every law enforcement community, every first responder agency, including both fire departments. You got Chief Carter and Chief Ryan Walth that are just spectacular. And to bring each of those entities with all those chiefs of police, Chief Weehot, we've had different chiefs of Wood Branch through those 2 episodes. We've had different chiefs of Patton Village. Shannon Sharp was awesome. Chief Fernandez is there. We've had the ISD. We've had some change in those chiefs. Troy Wooten's there. We even had the schools, both school districts, which is part of EMCID's district. Both the schools got the students' involvement in that. And you get your students and get your youth and supporting a food bank that supports the youth. The part that melts my heart for that is when the funds and stuff came, we brought in valiant amounts of food, but I stood out there on that street corner, and I remember the first time I had people throwing me $20 bills and yelling my name. I mean, it's just, it makes you want to tear up.
Yeah.
I had a small child that reached out.
You're a rock star, man.
No,
That's
it's
what
not
happens to
about
rock
that,
stars.
but you know,
Yeah.
you know people. I had a small child that reached out and gave me his pennies. A small
Really?
child out of a car seat. He gave me his pennies. I had people that dug out change that you could tell they didn't have money themselves, but they gave of themselves for this community. That's
Right.
what this community is all about. And it makes you feel what you feel inside. You need people to feel what you feel inside, if that makes a difference to you.
Oh yeah. And sharing is caring is it's an annual deal that y'all do. When do y'all do
Well,
that?
You know, we've done it for 5 years.
Okay.
There's no guarantee I can do it for a 6th year. I'm not going to tell you I will or I won't.
Mm-hmm.
It's been extremely beneficiary to Mission Northeast. We've raised countless tons of food
Oh yeah.
and supplies for them. And we're right at $100,000 over the last 5 years that
Wow.
we've done that.
Dang, that's a lot of money.
What we do is when we gain all those funds, I get different folks go with us. We go to the bank, they count it right then. It's a cashier's check immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't change hands. It's no room for corruption there.
Right.
We got to make sure it's steadfast.
Yeah, and
goes to the
100%
right
of that
cause.
money goes back out to the community.
100% of that money goes to Mission Northeast, and they have an accounting system where they do applications. Me personally, out on the street, I've been there and see people that are benefiting from this.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Dixon over at the Mission Northeast has told me if we ever have anybody with a need, to just simply hook them up with them, or we can call. I've called her and got diapers and formula and stuff for a family
Yeah,
in
she's
need.
great.
It was awesome. Just less than a week ago, I was on a call, a hole in the road, and I was out there at the commissioner's office, and I was talking to this gentleman, and he has farm eggs, and he sells farm eggs, and I said, man, you know, how much was they? And talking to him and stuff, and he says, yeah, I don't sell them as much as I used to, so all the excess he takes to Mission Northeast. And I said, that's really fantastic you do that. You know, that's really nice. And he says, well, you know, they helped me out when I was in a time of need.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were there helping him. He turns around and gives it back. That's so important.
It's surprising how many individuals they help on a monthly basis.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
countless.
I'm over there all the time, and they do a
It's
lot.
countless. You know, we did a feed the families, but they probably feed 1,200 plus families for Christmas, Thanksgiving. They give away turkeys, and you know, we tried when manpower exists to go out there and help them with traffic and stuff. Constables have been fantastic with helping us. It's a community partnership, and that's what it's all about, bringing communities together.
Right.
That's
And
great.
something extremely important that I can bring up while you're doing this is the community partnerships of the sheriff's office and what I can do, because I could go to all these businesses, whether it be donut shops, whether it be the pizza establishments, Chick-fil-A, just like last year, this past year, La Casita fed us fajitas with a vendor furnished the meat, and they came out there and volunteered their time and gave that to our volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
That's
we'll,
awesome.
we'll go on to this. I thought it'd be toward the end, but all these organizations that helped us, Taylor organization with Alan over there.
Yeah, we've had them on the show.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
and they're fantastic. You got Alan and Daryl over there. A few of them, I know Bubba. I don't know if you know Bubba. He's just, you know, you don't think much, but he's one of the many grains of sand that makes a difference in this community. I
Right.
mean, you know, he does it because of the good of his heart, not to get anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. But you got the alumni, the constables alumni that comes out there and helps
Right.
us. I wrote that down because I didn't want to miss anybody. You had the Patton Village had a special operations group at the time, but once again, the alumni, Jody Runabar, and several of those ladies over there help us with that. I remember Rachel Aber of Patton Village. She came. We had South County Jeeps come out there one time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big group of Jeeps. They just volunteer their time and come out there and help us. But the community partners, all these little small mom and pop donut shops and such. They just give.
And I really like the fact that
Freddy's Tacos, they give you, they just, whatever you need, they
Yeah.
give you.
I like the
That's
fact
crazy.
that 100% goes to the people who need it, because so many of these big major charities get exposed
No
for
cutoff of it.
90%
Yes.
administrative and that kind of thing.
We
So-
even gave them some coins that was, they were like from 1920. They were probably valuable coins.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Miss Dixon to keep them special. She's supposed to put them in a frame or something. I don't know. But we get like Mexican coins and things like that. I said, nope. So it all goes in an envelope, whatever it is, and we give it to them. There's
That's cool.
no room for controversy there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's groovy. I like
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, that's good. All right, so let's move forward a little bit. So, what ideas do you have regarding established small businesses in the community where economic development is concerned? Do you have any program ideas for businesses that are already here if you get elected to the EMCID board?
I've got plenty of ideas. I mean, right now I go out to local businesses all the time, ask them if there's needs and different things, how they're doing, just visiting with them.
Cool.
A lot of times they support projects we're doing, but just make sure they'll have a special, say if they've got a theft problem going on, we'll put area patrols out. We'll do many different things extra. But I think with regard you're talking about, there's so many different things we can do. We have a large staff, I believe, at EMCID. But the board members can do it also. And of course, I'm already out there on the streets. If you're an EMCID member, it's right there fluid in the motion. Some of these businesses might have an updated cash register. They may need an updated credit card machine. Maybe their internet's not going just right. Maybe they need some schooling on how to run business, and that's when we connect with the chamber. I know EMCID works closely with the chamber, and they do put on workshops
Okay.
and to make these businesses available of the grants that are available for them.
Okay.
Anything to make them success. If you're going to bring large business in here, you need to make sure you have a feasibility study to go along with that. You don't want to bring a business and put the mom and pop out. Right. So many different businesses have hurt when they bring these large corporations in. I'm not saying we don't need them, but if we're going to assist them, they need to be feasible with what we have present. Right now, there's a lot of businesses maybe run down a bit. In East Montgomery County, it's about the beautification. Maybe go see if they need some landscaping or freshening up
improvements,
to improve the beauty and the quality of life of our own community that we live in.
Okay.
There's countless avenues. I'm not mentioning them all, but it just continue on what we can do for small business.
Right.
And we need to care. You need to walk through those doors and show those people that EMCID is there and we're there for you and we got you back. I know that they have done things for businesses, but I don't think we've reached out far enough.
Okay. Cool. Good answer.
Yes, sir.
Board term limits. I don't think there are any right now, but how do you feel about that?
It's a twofold situation. I would probably say 2 terms is enough. If a person couldn't do what they were going to do in 8 years. But, at the same token, if you had somebody on the board, and I've talked to my spouse about this, if she does with water boards, and she's got like one particular water board where there's an elderly gentleman on there, and he reminds me of me because the sales tax dollar is his dollar. And to me, your sales tax dollar is my sales tax dollar.
Right.
We need to spend it like I would spend my own money. And anybody knows David Miller, he's tight with the dollar. He's tight with the penny. And if we're going to spend your money, we need to be the same way. It doesn't mean, it's government dollars. It's not your money. Why are you worried about that? That's not the way it should be. Mm-hmm. So when we go to term limits, it's going to be a shame if you have somebody like that that's steadfast, that's encouraging other members to do that you get rid of them. But at the same token, if you got a bunch of stale individuals on there, I'm not saying we do or we don't, but if you do, then the ultimate bottom line of term limits, I would say you have to put a vote out there and let the citizens of this district decide that cause.
Well, I like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
That's what it comes down to.
All right. I want to talk about grants. I like grants. Haven't never got one, but I like it. It's a good idea.
Yes, sir.
So presently, there's a $5,000 cap on grants that are provided by EMCID. Do you think the cap should be increased, or do you think that grant requests should be judged on an individual basis?
I think grants should be done on an individual basis, 100%. And I think each of these grants we do should be vetted and vetted properly. I mean, you can't just have everybody and their mother and their father and their son coming up there wanting a grant. It needs to be for a great cause. It needs to be what the improvement district stands for. It needs to be for the improvement of the entire district, or at least a good portion of the district, to
Right.
benefit the community. And what I would say is, when we give grants, they're always going to have receipts. They're going to have paperwork. I think we ought to follow up on those grants once they're issued, especially if you're going to come get a second one. Show us what you did with the first one. Show us what progress you did with that. Give us a progress report of what you did with the first one. Produce those receipts. Produce where you spent that money. Produce what good you did for the community.
There's nothing wrong with accountability.
It's the same thing that you do at the commissioner's court. If constables or sheriffs or whatever, if we went up there to the commissioner's court and you want more money, you got to be accountable for where your money went and what you're spending it on. And the same should be for the grants. But I'm very good with grants. I'm all for grants. I'm extremely supportive of youth communities, the sports associations. They're all good to go.
Okay. Cool.
Do you see any areas where EMCID can make a more positive impact?
Wow, that's a good one. I do. I see many, many, many areas where we could make a more positive impact. Currently, I've done a lot of talking lately, and I talked to so many businesses, and you ask them, many of them don't even know what EMCID is. I think you'd mentioned somewhere before about apathy.
Mm-hmm.
People just live their life and they don't worry about it, even though they're paying that sales tax on everything.
Right.
They don't even worry about it. It's just part of the game.
Right, where they can make the most impact. It seems like there's the most apathy.
You ask
local.
That's
about-
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's really great is we have the industrial park, and you can ask many, many people and do a survey along the 59 corridor or anywhere out there about the industrial park. They don't even know what you're talking about, because the industrial park is about 5 to 7 miles off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's a bad thing, but it's off the grid. I've asked many, many businesses, what has the industrial park did for you? They say it's done nothing for them. I asked people that have lived here for a long time, back when we had the vote, 1997, I believe, EMCID was created, somewhere around that area. I believe it was 97.
Yeah, I think it was 97.
And since then, they've had some other votes. I believe it was around 2008 where we voted, where the fire department actually gave up some of their tax money, but it was sold as EMCID was going to benefit the fire department ESDs.
Mm-hmm.
New Caney and Splendor were still separate at the time, and Porter Fire Department. And we agreed, somehow of a mutual agreement, I wasn't involved in that then, but they agreed, and we sold people on that tax. So back when all these taxing entities were placed in part, how many people think that we thought we were going to have an industrial park? How many people thought when we were doing these improvements, for a tax, that we were going to be in the real estate business? How many people thought we were going to be in the entertainment business? You have to question all of these things that we're doing. Throughout the years, it's the elephant in the room, EarthQuest. I'm not meaning to hurt anybody's feelings, but EarthQuest lost millions and millions of dollars for this community. To this date, to the best of my recollection, to what I could find out, we still owe about 15 years and $7 million still liability for EarthQuest. That's something that EMCID in this community gets nothing back for. There's been no accountability held for that. I think there should be accountability.
I really don't know a whole lot about EarthQuest. That was kind of before my time.
Well, once again, we go back to transparency.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that may be hurtful, but they're true, and they're out there. We could go on to such things as the parks and different things I think we can improve on. Many people want a youth athletic center. We certainly have land available around.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly have different things we can invest in. I don't know, there's prime property around 13, 14 and such right now that we could invest in and get a good park and such.
Well, you had mentioned a youth athletic center. So what all would be involved in that? What is a youth?
Well, if we saved our
athletic
money
center?
and we did it financially secure accountability and start, like anyone else, if you want a new car, if you want a new boat, if you want something extra, you got to put an account for it.
Right.
You got to put it to the side. And I know EMCID has other missions on their mind right now. I know they're looking at a new building. I think they're wanting to go put the new building over in in the town center. The town center is where a lot of our money goes to. Of course, it generates a lot of money, but I think we're looking at the pavilion where the hill is, probably wanting to put a convention center or such over there. We've talked about it for years, but it's never transpired yet.
But I think what I was trying to get to is what exactly is a youth athletic center? Because I thought we had stuff like that out here.
Well, we have the parks. We do have the parks, but, we could have a bigger facility where they could have like a sports complex where you could have numerous fields together, maybe
A little
football
more
fields,
coordinated
maybe,
and organized.
basketball courts where you could have those inside, where outside
And,
sources.
and all that stuff's not at the stadium in Valley Ranch. I thought there was a bunch of that because I know there's a big pool over there, and then there's a
They have a
football
splash
field.
pad.
And,
They have a splash pad.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
I think there's an indoor pool.
That's at New Caney ISD.
Okay.
Yeah, that's strictly at the ISD.
So that's just for the ISD.
That's just for the ISD.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And if they
Yeah.
decided to rent out that facility, they could do that. But you could have a larger facility where the youth could go and maybe have after-school programs, give them opportunities to learn. A lot of people want like an athletic facility where you have parks and places to run. And somebody asked me the other day about parks, for the children to go right now. We really don't have, unless you go to one of these private subdivisions.
Yeah, a little
like
municipality
Oakhurst or
parks
something
and stuff like that, yeah.
We really don't have, other than the main Solace Park, a place to go. And you need to have some kind of green space, A lot of people are yearning that kind of thing. But a lot of people ask for these basketball facilities so, all these youth then could go do their tournaments and such as that.
Okay.
And of course that brings in revenue.
Yeah.
And these are dreams that I talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so you could champion something like that.
well, I mean, it takes 8 board members to make those. Actually, it takes 5. You got 8 board members, you need 5. So you got me as one. You need 4 others to think the same. And it just takes ideas. It takes a voice in that board when they're talking to make this difference. And you don't see a lot of voices in that board. We're kind of missing the Dale Martins and the Scott Hessens back from the day. They had a voice and they did some checking. I'd say we probably need pull back the reins a little bit. Once again, the elephant in the room. We have salaries that are pretty top. One of them is like 270% above the national average. These need to be checked. We need to be revisited. We need to reevaluate. We need to reevaluate incentives and bonuses and things like that with our sales tax dollars. I don't know the nuts and bolts of the organization yet. People say, well, David, when you get in there, you'll understand this better than what you've got right now. Well, I'm not understanding it right now because the transparency is very minimal. It's a shame that you would have to get on the inside to see, so we can get it to the outside. I don't know why it's not more transparent. One of the things, because I'm a police officer, and we do have, there's a compliment, they have ho-ho patrol, as they call it. It's
what?
during the ho-ho patrol. It's during the holiday season.
Okay.
Santa
like a
Claus
donut,
ho-ho
isn't it?
patrol.
I guess
That's just their nickname.
Okay.
And
I
it
thought they
starts
were
right
looking for
before Thanksgiving.
prostitutes.
And they budget, I think, $70,000 for that, for the ho-ho patrol. And they put the constables in control of that. And it's a gigantic help to the sheriff's office.
Right.
Because it concentrates on the Porter and New Caney and Valley Ranch subdivision. I mean, shopping centers. And it helps us with the, at least some of the calls
So this
that we
isn't
get in
this
there.
safe shopper thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's just a different name.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
the same.
I hadn't
shopper.
heard of it called
I
that.
think they call it nickname a ho ho patrol because
Okay.
it's Santa Claus ho ho ho.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But they say in their bylaws that they cannot employ peace officers. I don't understand that. I've reviewed the bylaws, and there is a section in there. If anybody wants the numbers, 3846.103, where it says clearly that they can partner and pay all or part of law enforcement, fire department, EMS services, things to improve within the district. It
Right.
does have another portion in there. It's also down on the 3846 rule where they said they cannot employ peace officers directly, but they can contract off-duty officers. So my question is over in the Woodlands. The Woodlands has the improvement district, the town center. I'm not sure they're actually making if it's different bylaws, but they employ many, many officers over in the Woodlands. If anybody knows, the Woodlands is not the place to go mess up. they'll put a net out over there and they will catch their criminals.
Yeah.
And although they do have a small amount of crime, they catch and clear a lot of the rate over there because there's so many officers.
Well, have you gone
And
to the EMCID meetings and asked them about this particular question?
Just talked to board members and such about it, and I've asked about it, and they said they cannot do it.
But not an official thing at one of the meetings?
Well, no, sir. That's just what I've been told.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things. People say that people should go to the meetings and pay more attention. Well, you can look at the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I work. I'm not saying I won't make the meetings, but right now I'm working probably an average of 60 hours a week myself, just trying to make a living.
Much.
So, but I keep up. I keep up with what's going on, and if I need to make time for this community to go to a meeting, I'll do that. I do it for Porter Fire Department. I can do it for them. Just many, many improvements. I'd like to bring some of what I've done with Porter Fire Department to EMCID. Over the last 7.5 years, when I got there, we owed quite a bit of money on some equipment.
Mm-hmm.
It was financed because you had to have new equipment.
Especially in a growing community.
There were some other debts and such in there. Since I've been in there, they've done like a $1.5 million plus renovation to the main Porter Fire Station. Made it much better for the EMS and the fire department quarters.
Good looking too. Yeah, good looking place.
That was the main facility.
Yeah.
We bought new vehicles. We currently have a new pumper truck on order. You save 2% by paying for that up front.
Right.
We do that, and we just built a very, very nice fire station out on FM 1314.
I saw that one too. I was like, wow, that's brand new.
That
is great.
Currently debt free. We paid for it as it went, and we're saving the taxpayer dollar. We're ready for tomorrow. We're ready for tomorrow for this community.
Man, that's refreshing.
Infrastructure is extremely important. We want to bring all these businesses in, and I'm not saying that the growth is coming. The growth is coming whether anybody here wants that growth is coming.
Right.
You go ask anybody. I know you talked about sitting on 2090 trying to get Splendora in the evening.
Yeah, that's right.
I sit in 1314 traffic, and I talked to my friends. I said, let's bring some more businesses in here. Maybe I can sit an hour rather than 30 minutes. I'm just saying our infrastructure's not here. Not to get off the point, but I'm not sure if you were familiar with the FM 1314 project.
A little bit.
We had the FM 1314 project that TxDOT just sprung on us. This is I guess late January, I guess it was. They didn't give us very much notice. Had a little forum at the Porter High School. 25 people showed up, and they're wanting to do this raised esplanade.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people that are watching this,
instead of the turning lane,
it's too late. It's too late to put in the input, but it's not too late to contact your legislators. They want to put in the raised esplanade from Loop 494 all the way to Fern Lane. And in doing so, they were going to cut off so many small businesses.
God, it's going to hurt.
They were going to make it for first responders have a very, very difficult time to maneuver around. So we as first responders and small businesses put our heads together. We got Representative Cecil Bell, reached out with Metcalf. Senator Creighton is aboard with that. And at the time, Judge Metz, and I know Matt Gray had a little part of it too, we reached out to those and had a meeting with TxDOT. The last I heard with Miss Miller with Cecil Bell's office is they've tabled it for now, but it's not gone away. And that's something that people need to know. It's not gone away. They've just tabled it for right now. And we may have to go up the chain a little higher. But as I told him at the last meeting, we're East Montgomery County citizens. You're not dealing with other deals here. We're strong. We stand unified.
Right.
And many, many, many small businesses would be affected by this project. So don't just come over here and think you're going to just cram something down our throat. I mean, if you do, we're not going to like it, and we're trying to stop it ahead of time. So that's another thing I can think, Frank McGrady was there as that meeting, as well as our chamber leader and several business leaders, and we appreciate that fact. We do. So the improvement district has so much value to it, so much value that I think we could redirect some of the spending that we do. We spend a lot of money at the industrial park. I know they have great ideas for that. And in the future, it's going to bring it. I mean, it's bringing the property values up. It is. They just put the Lowe's project out there. Extremely huge. If you ever saw it, it's just such a huge facility.
Yeah, a million and a half square feet. So it's huge.
Walmart distribution center. What I would like to see is they currently have 1,600 1,800 jobs out there that are created by these 16, 17 companies. I mean, the industrial park's been there for quite a while. It's only got the 16, 17 companies. They have Porter's Mill out there that is blooming, one of our subdivisions. I would like to see EMCID, when they put that in the industrial park, they want 50% of the hires to be from our area. I'm not sure of the stats that we have on that. How are the stats that they're keeping up with their employees being from our area, or how much we're helping them if they're not bringing, because the main benefit is jobs for us.
Sure.
Jobs, and then those people that are out there. But of course, we're 7 miles off the grid. If they go 2 miles to the west, they're going to be out of our district. So it's not really assisting EMCID. If they come back this way, we're good to go. The people that live here, we're good to go. I would like to see a little bit more accountability of that. I'm not sure how we could do that, but to more streamline it. We certainly have the staff to do that. I noticed that EMCID is going up $400,000 on their payroll this year. I'm not sure how many new hires we're doing. I'm not sure how many employees they got. Just like to revisit some of these salaries and stuff that we have and make sure we're paying the fair market value for what we're getting. There were some other things. Once again, the elephant in the room that everybody wants to talk about, but they don't want to talk about it in front of people, is the travel expenses. Our CEO currently has a budget of $145,000 for travel expenses for 2022. The board has currently $90,000, and the staff has $85,000. Well, you sit there and you ask yourself, what has been our return on these travel expenses? They're going out to recruit businesses. And if you talk to the normal citizen, and I know the board and all think that's a great idea, but you're going to talk to the normal citizen, the one out there on the street, the one that should be voting in this voting, and you ask them, what do you think about this traveling? Not many of them like it. I don't think our rate of return on the traveling expenses have been paying off. So that's something else to be evaluated and looked at. And as a board member, they need to be looking at that. And all you got to do is just bring things up at the board and make those others think, rather than just be a yes vote. I've walked the plank at the Porter Fire Department before. It's not an easy place to be, and I am on that board with some fine individuals. And we've had some heavy discussions. But you got to stand up for your rights, and you got to know why you're there.
Yeah.
We have a chief that runs the Porter Fire Department. He does an excellent job, but sometimes I pull the reins back. He might not like it. The same with the EMCID. Whoever the director is may not like, the CEO might not like it, but the directors need to pull the reins back if that's what needs to be done.
Okay.
Hope I didn't talk too much, but I just got on a roll.
We got all day, man.
Yes, sir.
So how can the voters find out more about David Miller? You have a website? Or
That is very interesting. I fought Facebook for years. I ran for commissioner a few years ago.
Yeah, you refuse to get on
and,
Facebook.
And I just dislike Facebook. But I knew I needed to do that for this community, so I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. So I got on it last Sunday, and my eyes are open. It's amazing, the technology. It's amazing, the social media.
It's pretty much whatever you make it.
It's amazing, the people that I've seen on there that I haven't seen since school or work, that used to work here, or they're retired, and such an avenue of communication. So it's a very valuable tool. And it's be a very valuable tool for this election.
Yeah, the only bad thing is not everybody uses it as a valuable tool.
Yes, sir.
It's got its negative aspects too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It does. Yeah. But you hope, and I'll say this right now, everybody that looks at my Facebook, please give me likes. That's just really a valuable opportunity to spread the word and share it. When I ran for the last EMCID, I did have some help. I had Taylor Organization supporting me, and Alan knows this stuff. And Daryl knows their stuff and helped me, and I had Greg Long help me, and they shared the opportunity with that. And I'm hoping that I can have the other community leaders help me with this deal.
Okay.
You help me, I'm going to help you. There's not one mission in this race right here, and it's for our community. It's for each and every person out there. There's nobody going to be left forgotten. That's within this district. There's nobody going to be left forgotten anywhere, as far as I'm concerned. That's what we're supposed to do, and that's what I do for a living. I get up every day and I put on that uniform, and I hope to go out there and make a difference and leave a footprint.
Yeah.
In somebody's life somewhere.
Well, you obviously have, because you're very well known and well respected as well in the community.
We just do our best what the good Lord gives us.
There you go. All right, I got one last question. You ready? It's a doozy.
Not sure.
All right. Regarding transparency, did we do this already? I think we did.
I don't know if you missed it or not.
Let's do it again. Some of
Why not?
EMCID's business requires them to maintain a certain level of secrecy in order to thwart competition, and that makes sense. You know, we
Makes
have
perfect sense.
Yeah, we have competitors, and we bid on projects. I definitely don't call them and tell them what I'm doing.
Makes it perfect sense.
But what I'm looking for are your thoughts on a balance between transparency and confidentiality, and it's a tightrope, man. I mean, so how would you try to
It is a
manage that?
tightrope, but I mean, the common sense tells you need to let the public know as much as you can. You need to let them know where their tax dollars are going. It's going to make or break the deal that you can't tell them that, say, the Lowe's distribution center. If we were competing with Houston and you're teeter-tottering on losing the deal, if you give Houston some information, of course you're not going to give them information.
Right.
I mean, that's just common sense. I mean, let's go back to common sense. And if you can release it, release it. But we need to be sharing more information than what we're sharing. As I say, they say they're working on some major project right now. We're talking about this new building and stuff. People need to be aware of that. I think people should actually be able to vote on that, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if that's ever came up about or not. I know the board decided it, but why can't the voters decide if that's what they want or not? Maybe we do. If that's what we want, then we got to be fluid and go with it. Not always does David Miller have the greatest ideas. Somebody else is going to have a better one. And you got to be fluid, and you got to be fluctuant. You got to be able to accept it. I'm just looking to make an oil change here. I mean, let's see if we can do better. Put it on all cylinders. Make it run smoothly.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to leave you with my slogan. I don't know if we're close to the end.
We're not
but
close to the end yet. We got a
okay.
little bit ways to go, but not too
We
far.
have a
I'll give you
slogan
my
too, but
slogan
go ahead.
anyway.
We
My
do?
slogan is, it's all about your dollars and cents, and that means SENSE.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Fantastic.
Every bit of this is your dollars and your cents.
Man, I hope that sentiment spreads out.
Well, it's true. Imagine if we had that in the national level, right?
Yeah.
Good luck there.
We got a new slogan. I haven't laid it on you yet, but
Okay, I'm
I've
ready.
already have the sign made outside.
All right.
If you can't beat them, arrange to have them beaten.
I like that. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what? If I don't win this race and Batchelder or Miss Moore does, then let them do what they say. Let them do these ideas I've got.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Let's just get somebody in there and take care of some business.
Here you go. All right. So the final question. I am a voter, and actually I am. But let's say I'm the average guy, but I haven't made a decision for this particular position yet. And I'm getting ready to go to the polls. I'm going to spin the dial. I'm going to cast my ballot. What would you say to that individual to get him to vote for David Miller as opposed to your opponents?
Well, I hope before you go to that poll, you'll research everything as you need to go make that vote. Don't vote for me just because I'm David Miller. Don't vote for Crystal Moore because she's Crystal Moore. Don't vote for Paul Batchelder. Just research us, see what we've proven, see what our community involvement is, see what we've accomplished, see where we're going, see what our ideas are, see what you're not afraid to speak out about, and make sure you got a voice on that board. You don't need someone to go up there and just say yes to everything that's going on. You're going to have somebody that knows how to ride a horse and pull those reins back when it's time to stop. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do. When you go to those polls, vote for the person that you think is going to do that best job for you. I think it's me. If it's not, then vote your best conscience, but I'll do the job for you if I get in there.
Well, there you go. Well, Mr. Miller, I appreciate you coming in today, and we had a good conversation. Again, I learned some stuff that I didn't know. It happens every time I come in here. Sooner or later, I'm going to be a smart guy. So I think it's just going to take a while.
Appreciate it, sir.
Well, guys, there you have it. David Miller. He is running for East Montgomery County Improvement District, position 5. And he's also going to be at the forum on April the 19th at the EMC Senior Center.
Don't miss that. I hear there's going to be snacks.
There's going to be snacks, and we're going to open the doors at 6, and there'll be a lot of palm pressing and baby kissing and things like that from these candidates.
Don't get those confused.
And it'll give you an opportunity to poke and prod these guys and ask them your questions also, and get to shake their hand and find out what they're really about. For Mark Hogan, I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank's Think Tank, and we're out.